Okay, this is the one. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Hey, what's happening? It's Willie the Composer here. And no, I haven't cut my hair. I actually am wearing a ponytail right now. Now, if you're like me, then you're someone who isn't particularly gifted in terms of looks.
I'm Owen Wilson.
And you're 50 pounds overweight.
I mean, I don't exactly see what the problem is. Fat acceptance is a thing now. I mean, proud of who I am. And plus, eating healthy is so hard.
And you have filthy habits.
Yummy.
And you couldn't keep your room clean if your life depended on it.
Man, I suppose I should maybe come through here with a garbage bag, or do some of this laundry, or at least put sheets on the freaking bed.
And worst of all, you have a sense of self-importance. I mean, you're perfectly fine with yourself, but, other people like you just can't stand them.
Other people are remarkably fortunate to live in a universe that only exists so that I personally may observe it.
Now, you could imagine that a person like me would have trouble with the opposite sex. Actually, you're wrong, because until this month, I hadn't gone a year without having a girlfriend since I was 12 freaking years old. And to put that into perspective, Bush was still president.
Our enemies are innovative and resourceful, and so are we. They never stop thinking about new ways to harm our country and our people, and neither do we.
But let's toss aside reality for a moment and pretend that we lived in a world that made any sense at all. Someone like me would have trouble finding a girlfriend. I mean, unless I made some changes in my life, maybe lost a little weight.
Jumping jacks are like the one exercise that I'm really good at.
Put a stop to my bad habits. Cleaned up my room.
The trouble is, where do you start?
And maybe studied some philosophy to make myself more humble. Out! Out, brief candle! Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, and signifying nothing. But would I still be the same person? Aren't my negative traits just as much a part of my identity as the positive ones? What if I told you the very concept of identity was bullshit? I mean, scientifically speaking, the human body is comprised entirely of cells, and the average lifespan of those cells is only about 7 to 10 years. So as far as my physical body is concerned, I'm mostly a different person than I was when I had my first girlfriend. I love this freaking picture. And in terms of what I know about the world, I'm even more of a different person. Once you get old enough when you have to get a job, pay bills, pay rent, and buy groceries, you learn things about the world that you never could have figured out as a kid. You just look at everything differently. I mean, no wonder most adults are such jerks. I find myself just as irritable about everyday life as they were when I was a kid.
Why do I buy all these groceries if I don't want to eat them?
From my perspective, we're all just masses of flesh that decide on our next course of action based on how our neurons interact with each other and what social and cultural values we happen to absorb from our day-to-day lives. In reality, even given the laws of physics as a constraint, the possibilities of what we can do as conscious beings are endless. Our futures are as uncertain as the position of an electron around a nucleus. And yet no one really looks at life that way. I think of my future as, I'll be graduating next year. I need to find a way to pay my expenses, get a job, find a place to stay, figure something out. But in reality, I could drink a tub of bleach and end it all right now. Or I could run off into the wilderness and eke out an existence completely free of society and its mandate on financial considerations. No matter what I choose to do next, I might enjoy some aspects and hate others, and considering the pros and cons of infinite opportunities would take an infinite amount of time. So I have to rely on my societal perspective and my cultural perspective to narrow down my options so I can make decisions infrequently and quickly enough for me to live a normal life. But let's get back to the concept of identity. Where do I start and I end? Are the bacteria in my stomach that help me digest my food a part of me? I couldn't live without them. And what about the clothes I wear? I certainly can't maintain a safe place in society if I don't wear clothes everywhere I go. I also couldn't imagine a Willie Sochko that wasn't musically inclined, or at least a fan of music. Aren't those a part of my identity? Couldn't my Beatles fandom be considered an identity? Couldn't that be a common identity that millions of people share? Couldn't humanity itself be considered an identity? As well as all living things and all matter in the universe and the universe itself? But maybe we can ditch the physical world altogether and just say that identity is equivalent to consciousness. Well, that doesn't really work either. My consciousness will cease once I die, and yet my loved ones will care enough about me to dispose of my physical remains in a respectful way. That's because they, like all of us, implicitly see our physical bodies as just as important to our identity as our consciousness. I mean, if I was fully conscious, yet had no means to express that consciousness, like I was fully paralyzed and unable to move, people would still view me and treat me as an individual, despite my complete inability to express my desires. The only explanation that satisfies me is that identity itself is an illusion that had to be evolved so that human beings could be as intelligent as we are and make sense of the world at the same time. But there really is no me or you. Each one of us is just one of the small pieces that make up the universe, not dissimilar to the individual cells which make up the body. I can feel confident that if I make positive changes in my life, which I intend to do, I will still be me, because me is whoever I want me to be. So the next time someone advises you to be yourself, keep in mind that there really is no you. You can be whatever you want to be, do whatever you want to do. Defining your identity is just as much a limitation as it is an advantage. So stop trying to find yourself. Instead, live your life the way you see fit, and you'll find yourself without even knowing that you've done it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe. It's showtime.
Well, dude, I look so fucking skater right now, don't I? Hi, Raphael, smile for the camera. On a shining head.